Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, it may be dry now, but there is a chance for some severe weather later this week. We'll take a look at that threat.
911 calls are up in Oxford, but Baptist Hospital is running into roadblocks as they try to accommodate the increase in emergency calls. A look at those obstacles is coming up.
And January brought no good news for the economy as inflation continues to rise. And now an international crisis could make matters worse. A look at potential threats to the economy is up next. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annabelle Kinney.
And I'm Leah Blevins. The ice storm on February 3rd left over 200,000 Memphis light, gas, and water customers impacted. Yesterday, the company confirmed that all original power outages from this storm have been restored. Newer outages are still being addressed. Customers without power should call 901-544-6500.
That winter storm may be in the rear view, but the Mid-South is expecting severe weather for Thursday. North Mississippi, including the Oxford area, is facing the greatest risk for severe storms. Local forecasts anticipate that Oxford will have a 94% chance of rain, along with possible damaging winds and flooding. Hail and a brief tornado are also possible. Be on the lookout for this weather on Thursday and take precautions as necessary.
In local shopping news, the Kroger on University is the perfect spot to pick up groceries, grab a coffee from Starbucks, and now restock your liquor cabinet? The Oxford Planning Commission approved Kroger's plans to add a liquor store to the site. Construction on the new business will take about 18 months. Can't make it to the store? You're in luck. This liquor store is expected to participate in the chain's alcohol app-based delivery service, which enables users to have their alcohol and other items delivered right to their doorstep.
The annual double-decker run is coming back to Oxford after 2 years off. The Lafayette County Chamber of Commerce is scheduled to host the event on Saturday, April 23rd. The 10K and 5K will start at 7:30 a.m. and the Kids Fun Run starts at 9 a.m. Registration costs $30 for the 10 and 5K before April 1st and will go up after that. Participants who sign up at least 1 week prior will get a free double-decker t-shirt. You can still register on the day of the festival for $40. Overall, male and female winners will receive a $200 cash prize.
Police Department honored K-9 Officer Brandon Bird as the 2021 Officer of the Year during the Oxford Peace Officers Officer of the Year banquet. OPD Chief Jeff McCutcheon called Officer Bird an extremely deserving winner who is both hardworking and dependable. Bird is the 25th winner of the R.L. Bob Jones Memorial Officer of the Year Award. He was nominated by two-time Officer of the Year Award winner Lieutenant Kevin Parker, who won the award in 2013 and 2018.
In healthcare news, emergency calls reached record numbers in Oxford last year, and Baptist Hospital is trying to increase their capacity to respond to them, but it hasn't been smooth sailing. NewsWatch reporter Cam Smith has a look at the problems Baptist is working to address.
Baptist Hospital in Oxford has seen an increase in emergency calls over the years, especially during the pandemic. Baptist EMT Operations Manager James Russell says this is because Oxford is one of the fastest growing communities in Mississippi.
Our population is steady going up. Well, over time, more population means more needs for emergency care.
The hospital also lost employees during the pandemic. Baptist Vice President of Operations Tony Anto shares why they are hiring more staff.
There's a big shortage in healthcare as a whole. So there's a shortage of nurses, there's a shortage of EMS people, and so we have to backfill that.
And EMT Anya Dirk says the shortage of EMT drivers has made her job difficult.
Yeah, it can get a lot at times. Like we used to only have 2 trucks, so a lot of the times we were up and running all night long, and it could get dangerous at times.
This is why the hospital is planning to hire more EMT drivers, add more advanced life support trucks for emergencies, as well as basic life support trucks for hospice and nursing home transfers.
Expanding our staff would really help keep our advanced life support trucks in the area more. One of the things that has always plagued us was transfers that are taking the trucks out of the county. When you do that, of course, it causes response delays.
Russell says they are hoping to hire more locals to meet this demand and have the new trucks up and running within the next several months.
Thanks, Cam. Baptist Priority Ambulance is in the early stages of its latest plan to cooperate with the city and county to increase emergency response capability.
Turning to our coronavirus coverage, case numbers here at the university are seeing a steady decline over the past 90 days. Today, we have 15 active confirmed cases, 9 students, 4 staff members, and 2 faculty members. Across the state of Mississippi, there are 1,253 new COVID cases. That is the lowest number in weeks.
While new cases are slowing down, so are vaccination rates across the United States. New booster shots are now at their slowest rate since they became available. 36% of Mississippians have received booster shots. Last week, just under 7,500 people got a booster shot.
In other health news, today is National Childhood Cancer Awareness Day. NewsWatch reporter Sarah Gale took the time to sit down with someone who is fighting her battle against cancer every day.
According to St. Jude's Research Hospital, over 400,000 children are diagnosed with cancer every year.
When I look into a mirror, I definitely see everything I've been through.
In 2013, at just 14 years old, Ole Miss student Allie Allen became a part of this number.
I went to my 8-hour brain surgery, and during the surgery, they discovered that that cancer or that tumor was cancerous. So they had me as a St. Jude patient before I even knew I had cancer.
Allen is one of 7 people in the world with her specific type of brain cancer. In fact, it is because of St. Jude and their research that Allen was not only able to graduate high school, but she will graduate college this May and is currently engaged in planning her wedding.
The kids at St. Jude don't even know if they could graduate like middle school or high school. So for me, it's such a great thing to like have these milestones. And I just pray that like every kid there will get to do this like I can, like I am.
Allen still has a tumor right now, but she is getting to live a life she wasn't sure she'd ever get to see. Sarah Gale, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
St. Jude is working on a documentary about Allie and her story that is set to come out this year.
Almost a decade after the deadly shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, families are getting a little bit of closure today. We'll have a look at that story coming up. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move.
so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Almost 10 years after the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, 9 families of victims reached a $73 million settlement in their wrongful death lawsuit against Remington and its insurers. The firearms company made the Bushmaster AR-15 style rifle used in the 2012 shooting that killed 20 children and 6 adults in Newtown, Connecticut. A 2005 federal law protects many gun makers from wrongful death lawsuits brought by family members. But attorneys for the Sandy Hook families pushed a different approach by trying to hold the company partly responsible because of its marketing strategy. In 2019, the U.S. Supreme Court decided not to take up an appeal by Remington, effectively allowing the suit to move forward.
Today, Russian officials said that they are withdrawing troops from the Ukrainian border after completing training drills. However, President Joe Biden stressed that the United States has not yet verified that claim. According to a spokesperson for Russia's defense system, many troops from the southern and western districts have already made their way back home. The spokesman did not release any information regarding how many troops are leaving or where they are permanently based, but did express that major drills will still be taking place near Ukraine. Russia has assembled thousands of troops on its border with Ukraine in recent weeks, and world leaders are still worried that an invasion of Ukraine could happen at any time.
If Russia does invade Ukraine, you could be feeling the effects here at home. Economists expect that in the instance of an invasion, some of the items that have seen the highest inflation rate over the last year, like cars, gas, and houses, might get even more expensive. CNN's Amy Kiley has a look at how invasion could hit your wallet.
The forces the Russians have massed, they could launch at any point.
Ukraine might be far away, but a further Russian invasion there would probably cost you money here. That's because it's not so easy to export goods from a war zone. Here are 4 ways a Russian attack on Ukraine could affect you financially. 1. You might have to pay more for gas. Russia is the world's second largest producer of oil. Prices are already spiking. Some analysts say conflict in Ukraine could send them over $100 a barrel. Prices haven't been that high in 7 years. 2. Global food prices could increase. Russia is the world's top exporter of wheat. Ukraine produces wheat and corn.
If any conflict which disrupts those flows will help to only tighten agricultural markets quite significantly.
3. You might have to pay more in interest on your next loan. The Federal Reserve is already hinting it'll raise interest rates. Increased inflation could add to its motivation.
This is not a good situation. We have to reassure people that we're going to defend our inflation target and we're going to get inflation back to 2%.
4. You might take a hit to your stock portfolio. Markets fell Monday when the U.S. said it would close its embassy in Ukraine. Investors know the world economy is connected.
The whole world has become dependent on Russian petro money. We're all going to have a fundamental rethink of whether or not the price is worth it to be so dependent on Russian money.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Today, President Biden said that his administration is already working to take pressure off of energy providers in case Russia invades.
The U.S. Bureau of Statistics released new updates regarding inflation, and it is still not looking good. The Producer Price Index rose 9.7% in the past 12 months from last January 2021 to January 2022. Prices from last month alone rose by a full percent. And while food, trade, and energy are among the categories seeing the highest increase, overall inflation still went up by 0.9% when not counting those categories.
On a lighter note, the popular chain restaurant Chipotle is now celebrating a major milestone as they opened up their 3,000th store today in Portland, Oregon. At a time when restaurants and other businesses are trying to adjust back to normal after the pandemic, this is quite a big achievement. Chipotle plans to open up approximately 4,000 more stores in North America and is turning its sights to small town markets.
The biggest show in show business is getting back on its feet. After 3 years of hostless telecasts at the Oscars, the Academy is bringing back live hosts. 3 of them, Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall, are all set to host 1 hour of the telecast each. Last year's show saw the lowest ratings in the ceremony's broadcast history, which is likely what led producers to shake things up. The 94th Oscars is set to air March 27th.
Speaking of the Oscars, movie connoisseurs, you're going to love this. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences recently revealed a new fan-voted category. Now anyone can vote for a 2021 movie to win the title of Fan Favorite. Just use the hashtag OscarsFanFavorite on Twitter between now and Thursday, March 3rd. The winner will be revealed during the awards show. Fans can also vote for their favorite movie scene using the hashtag OscarsCheersMoment. The winning scene will be played during the broadcast. Not only could you see your favorite movie go home with a prize, but you could get one yourself. The Hollywood Reporter says the Academy will select 3 people to go on an all-expense-paid trip with a guest to the 2023 Oscars in Los Angeles.
And coming up in sports, head coach Kermit Davis and the men's basketball team are looking to rebound against South Carolina tonight after last weekend's loss to Missouri. And Rebel volleyball player Sasha Ratliff has earned a tryout to a national team. Find out more up next in sports.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother, and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone. You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
The Rebel men's basketball team will look to get back on track this evening when they host South Carolina in the Pavilion. The return of Jarkel Joyner has been a big help offensively for Ole Miss, and his consistent shooting will be needed to help the team get the W over the Gamecocks. The Rebs will also need to keep South Carolina off the glass in tonight's contest. The Gamecocks are first in the SEC and 8th nationally in offensive rebounding. Look for the Rebels to come out shooting and make a push for their 4th conference victory of the season. There will also be a ceremony at halftime honoring Coolidge Ball, Ole Miss's first black student athlete. Ball signed a scholarship in 1970 and went on to have a very successful career, earning first-team All-SEC honors from the league coaches in 1972 and 1973. Ball opened the door for future black athletes to play for Ole Miss, and he will be honored with a ceremony as well as a life-size bronze statue outside the pavilion. Now taking things over to the volleyball court, sophomore middle blocker Sasha Ratliff received an invite to the United States national team tryouts, which will be held from February 25th to February 27th in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Ratliff established herself as one of the SEC's best middle blockers this season, and she was a vital part of a Rebel squad that appeared in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 11 years. Ratliff will be competing against some of the top athletes in the country at the tryout, all fighting to earn a spot on the United States national team. And baseball season is gearing up, and a few Rebels are already collecting accolades. Catcher Hayden Dunhurst and shortstop Jacob Gonzalez were both named to the 2022 Golden Spikes Award watch list. This is the second consecutive season that multiple Rebels have been named to the watch list. Dunhurst was one of the premier catchers in the SEC last season, and Gonzalez became just the second player in Ole Miss history to be named an All-American as a freshman. Both players have also been named preseason All-Americans by D1 Baseball, and they will be a big part of the team as they begin a season that is full of promise. And Ole Miss seniors Shea Taiwo and Mario Garcia-Romo were both recognized in today's SEC Weekly Awards. Taiwo won the Women's Field Athlete of the Week, and Garcia won the Men's Runner of the Week. Taiwo improved her standing to number 2 in NCAA history and number 3 in world history in the weight throw this past week at the Music City Challenge. Garcia-Romo broke Ole Miss records in mile and 3K time at the Millrose Games, and he showed his skills in a group that featured 4 Olympians. Both of these athletes have had incredible seasons so far, and we cannot wait to see what records they will break next. Now ending things off with some NBA action. The Memphis Grizzlies are headed to the Crescent City this evening for a battle with the New Orleans Pelicans. The Grizzlies come in as the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, and they are riding the momentum of a 5-game win streak. They are also the NBA's best rebounding team. The team might have to look elsewhere for production if point guard John Morant doesn't play tonight. The All-Star is day-to-day with soreness in his left ankle. If Morant can't go, look for backup Tyus Jones to assume the starting role, and for the offense to run through forward Jaren Jackson Jr. and guard Desmond Bane. The Grizzlies will have to slow down Pelicans small forward Brandon Ingram in order to come out with the victory. Ingram is a 6'8" offensive force who comes into tonight's contest averaging 22.4 points per game. Look for the Grizzlies to impose their will in the paint and try to overpower the Pelicans and extend their win streak. And that's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Carson. This little bear has had quite the journey over the last few months, but it is finally coming to a close. That story is up next on NewsWatch.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You might remember this little bear. We told you about him last week. His owner lost him at the Milwaukee airport after Thanksgiving. The boy's father said he cried the whole flight home. But last month, someone found the bear in the airport.
The airport posted about the bear on Facebook, and the post went viral. After just 2 days, the bear's family saw it and claimed him. Today, Southwest Airlines flew the family all the way back from Dallas back to Milwaukee to get the 5-year-old boy his bear back.
That is such a heartwarming story.
So sweet.
I'm so glad the little boy got his bear back. That is all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Leah Blevins.
And I'm Annabelle Kinney. You can find our social media at NewsWatch Ole Miss for the latest updates on Ole Miss and beyond.
Thank you and good night.